Hello and welcome to the retake of Module 4 test. We're going to review, looks a lot like the first review that hopefully you did. So they want us to write these numbers on a number line. So here's my number line. Isn't that a good feature? All right, I'm going to put 0 in the middle. The largest number I get to is less than 4 and a positive 4. All right, so to compare things, it's easiest if you get them in the same form. So let's take a look at these numbers. I know that if I doubled this fraction, wouldn't it be a negative 6 over 10? Or 0.6? Look at that. And if you don't know how to do that, you can always divide 5 into 3. You're going to add a decimal, that whole thing. All right, and then 1/4, I know 1/4 is 0.25, 1/4. If you don't know that, you can also divide. And then the last one, 3/4, I know 3/4 is 0.75, so that's 1.75. All right, so let's put these on a number line. Here we go. I have a negative 3.5. So negative 3.5 and a positive 3.5. I don't know why I didn't write those on top. And then let's see what else. I have a half, which is going to be about here, 0.5. And I did this one, I did that one. And how about 1/4? That's going to be right in here. I'm going to squeeze that in there. There it is. There's 1/4. Or 0.25. And then I have a negative 0.6. So let's see, it's going to be a little over half, so maybe right about here. Negative 0.6 or a negative 3/5. This is really ugly looking. I have a negative, whoa, we're going to squeeze in that negative 0.7. Then I'm done with those. Look at that. And then I have 1.75, so it's really close to 2, 1.75. There, I put them in order from least to greatest on a number line. We're looking good. Okay, so let's go to number 2. Number 2, I'm going to write this as, say it out loud, 0.0 and 4/10. 4/10. Just say it out loud mathematically. I would simplify that, so it'd be a negative 2 goes into 4 twice, 2 goes into 5. Oop, I said the answer. 2 goes into 10 5 times. There it is. All right, the next one. I do not know what to do with this one, so I've got to do long division. All right, you can do top dog in the house. I like to say the cowboy goes inside, the horse stays outside. Whatever you remember, that's great. All right, so 5 goes into 17 3 times. I'm going to subtract and get a 2. I can keep going. Add a decimal and add a 0. 5 goes into 20 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20 exactly. We're done. So that's 3.4. All right, I'm going to say the next one out loud. That's 0 and 35 hundredths. I can simplify that. 5 goes into 35. 7 times 5 goes into 100. 20. Ta-da! And this last one, that's a negative 1 and 3/4, 3/4. I already know that that is 3/4 is 0.75. If you don't, you can do long division. All right, let's go to number 3. We're going to multiply. I have a negative times a positive. What's a negative times a positive? It's a negative. So I'm going to do some math over here. Just going to multiply these. Just forget that there's even a decimal there. We'll put them in at the end. All right, so here we go. 4 times 8 is 32. I'm going to put a 2 here and carry the 3. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 is 23. There we go. Now I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to add a 0 here. Now I'm going to go 2 times 8 is 16, carry the 1. 2 times 5 is 10. With one more, that's 11. Now I just add them up. I get 2, 9, 3, 3, 1. And then I'm going to count how many numbers are to the right of the decimal. There's 2, so I'm going to put a decimal here and go 1, 2. My final answer is 13.92. All right, let's look at the next one. If I were to put these in a scoreboard, I'd have a negative 2/5 and a negative 2/5 again, 4 and 2/5. All right, so they're definitely, the negatives are going to win. I'm going to combine all their scores. So 4 plus 6 is 10. And 2/5 plus 2/5 is, isn't that 4/5? Yeah, that's it. Nice and easy. All right, let's do number 5. All right, I think we should cross cancel first. Cross canceling is just simplifying or dividing first. 3 goes into 3 one time. Now let's look the other direction. 4 and 16, 4 goes into both of them. 4 goes into 4 once. 4 goes into 16 4 times. So if I multiply straight across, I get 1 times a negative 4. 1 times 1. Oh, that's just negative 4. Come on, I told you that was great. All right, let's look at the next one. Number 6. Number 6, when we divide fractions, we're going to keep the first fraction the same. We're going to change the problem to multiplication. And then we're going to do the reciprocal of the second fraction, which is a negative 14 over 12. I like to put parentheses around my negatives, but that's up to you. Now, you can multiply straight across, get some big gross numbers, and then simplify. I'm going to simplify first. 7 goes into 7 once and 14 twice. Now go the other direction. 6 goes into 6 once, 6 goes into 12 twice. Let's multiply straight across. I have a negative 1 times a negative 2. Oh, that's a positive 2. And 1 times 2 is 2. Oh, isn't that just 1? Yeah, and a negative times a negative is a positive. All right, we're looking good. All right, last one on this page, gross. Let's divide. All right, I know my answer, negative divided by a positive, is going to be a negative. So let's not worry about the signs right now. We're going to write 7.48 inside, 2.2 on the outside. You can't have a decimal on the outside here, so we're going to move that over. If we do that, we've got to do it to this one. There we go. All right, let's try it now. 22 goes into 74 3 times. That'd be 66. I'm going to subtract. And if I subtract, I believe that is 8. Bring down my other 8. 22 goes into 88 4 times, which is, 88. Look at that. My final answer is a negative 3.4. Ta-da! All right, let's go to the back side. Woo! All right, we have number 8. I have fraction, decimal, fraction. You could change them all to decimals or all to fractions. You're going to get the same answer either way. I think I might, I don't know what to do. Maybe change it to a decimal. Here we go. I know 1/2 is 0.5. Plus 0.25 plus a negative, 3 and 1/5. If you doubled that, isn't that the same as 2/10? 2/10. Look at that. And if you can't do it like that, you can divide 5 into 1. All right, now I'm going to do a little scoreboard. I have 0.5 in the positives, 0.25, and a negative 3.2. Who's going to win? We definitely have, the negatives have more. All right, so the positives have a total of 0.75, and the negatives have 3.2. So I'm going to find the difference between them. Here we go. 3.2, take away 0.75, and add a 0. All right, 5 cannot take away from 0. I can borrow or regroup. All right, so 10 take away 5 is 5. 1 take away 7, I can't do that. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to regroup, add a 10 to this one. So that should be 4. There we go. And the negatives are winning. There it is, negative 2.45. Hopefully I'm getting these right. Woo! All right. Now I'm going to plug in numbers here for x and y. Let's do this. I have negative 3 parenthesis. X is 1/4 plus y is a negative 3/4. Oh, thank goodness they have a common denominator. A lot of people mess this up. Who's going to win in our parentheses? The negatives. We have more negatives. How many more negatives do we have? We have 2 more negatives. All right, that's the same thing as 1/2, by the way. So if you want to simplify it right now, you can. Otherwise, I'm going to get 6/4, which equals 2 goes in there. There, 3/2. The end. Ta-ta-da. All right, let's look at B. Oh, a lot of people mess this up because of this squared part. This means squared times itself. It does not mean times 2. Plus, and then x is 1/4. All right. So let's do 0.4 times 0.4. What's 4 times 4? It's not 8. It is 16. And then I have 2 numbers to the right of the decimal. So I'm going to move my decimal over and get 0.16 or 0.16. And that was a negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. Good. So I'm going to add 1/4. Well, I already have a decimal, so why not change 1/4 to 0.25? And then those are both positive. So let's add them together and get 0.41. Nice. All right, last one of these awful problems. This all means to multiply if they're right next to each other. So I have a 4 times x times z. X is 1/4. Z is negative 0.4. Okay, let's figure out what the answer should be, positive or negative. Oh, definitely going to be negative. So I'm going to put my negative sign out there. And I'm going to cross cancel. What's 1/4 a fourth? Whoop, just 1. 1 times 0.4. It's 0.4. Come on. That was great. Cross canceling is fantastic. You should try it. Don't be afraid of it. All right, let's do number 10. So if you remember, rational numbers are all the numbers that can be written as a ratio. They're basically all the numbers we've been working with. Whereas like natural numbers are the ones you started off with like in maybe kindergarten, maybe even preschool, right? All right. So a negative 52 is not a natural number or a whole number, but it definitely is an integer. It can also be written as a ratio or fraction, so it's rational. All right, a fraction is definitely a ratio, so that's rational. It's not an integer or whole number or natural. 2.12112151. Oh, that's a hot mess. I can't write that as a ratio. It just keeps going on and on. That's irrational, terrible. We're not going to do anything with those numbers. And 2. Oh, 2 is natural, whole. It's also an integer, and it's rational. It's everything. All right, we're on our last section. Dun, da, da, da. Okay, for all of these, I would recommend doing the scoreboard. Anytime you add or subtract, scoreboard is really helpful. Just picture it. You have 13 negatives, 7 positives. What team's winning? Oh, the negative team. How many are they winning by? They're winning by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. This next one, we can't do anything until we fix that. The opposite of a negative is a positive or plus, whichever you prefer. Then you could do scoreboard, negative 8 and a positive 5. Who's winning? The negatives are by 3. All right. Last one. Scoreboard's so handy. I have a 10 negative and 15 negatives for a total of 25 negatives. Ta-da! That's 10 plus 15. Yeah, I think I did it right. Am I looking okay? All right. Let's take a look at this one. Oh, now we're multiplying. Nice. 7 times 11 is 77. What's a negative times a positive? If you have different signs, it's negative. All right. I have a negative times a positive. That's going to get me a negative. Times a negative 3. Oh, a negative and negative make a positive. So that's 12 times 3, positive 36. All right, next one. I have a negative 12 divided by a positive 3. It's going to be a negative 4. All right, the last ones. I want you to use PEMDAS. All right, so according to this, we don't have any exponents. We do see a lot of parentheses. Let's take a look at G. All right, these are multiplying. Doesn't multiplication come before subtraction? That's a minus 5. If this had been in parentheses, see there's nothing in between them, a parenthesis would be multiplying, but there are no parentheses, so here we go. Negative 28 minus 5. Put that in a scoreboard. You have 28 negatives, 5 more negatives for a total of 33 negatives. All right, H. This is our first priority with PEMDAS. 2 times 2. Look, I'm just about to write the answer. 2 times 2. 2 times itself is 4. You have minus 5 times 3. Would I subtract 4 minus 5 or 5 times 13? I don't know what I was saying. 5 times 3. There we go. All right, you would do the 5 times 3 first. There. Now we're going to get negative 11. Negative 11. Okay. All right, last one, and you are done. Here we go. Order of operations. It looks a lot like problem G. What do we do first? We multiply all of these. Then we're going to subtract 10. 2 times 3 is 6 times a negative 5. That's negative 30. I still have minus 10. Put those in a scoreboard. All right, 30 and 10. Oh, the negatives are definitely winning by 40 points. Ta-da! All right, the secret to doing well in math is to practice those awful problems that give you trouble. Do them more than once. They become easier and you get even faster. All right, hopefully this is good, and good luck on your test. You got this.